Your Honor, she's unstable. I fear for my daughter's safety. Jordan's voice rang out strong and calm in the silent courtroom. He stood in his pressed suit, hands folded in front of him like he was giving a presentation, not trying to take a child away from her mother. Maya sat at the other table, her fingers shaking in her lap. She looked up at the judge, eyes already glassy. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. She blinked hard, trying to hold it together. Not here, not in front of everyone. She's had emotional outbursts, Jordan continued. There have been times when I've had to take Lila away because Maya was crying uncontrollably or yelling at nothing. My daughter is scared. That wasn't true. Maya wanted to scream it, but her voice felt stuck deep in her throat. She looked to her lawyer, who gave her a small nod. Wait, let it play out. The judge shifted in her seat. Her eyes moved from Jordan to Maya, then down to the paperwork. She didn't say anything. Maya could feel it. Doubt was already settling in. Lila sat between a court-appointed child advocate and a bailiff near the front. Her little legs swung beneath the bench, too short to reach the floor. She looked at her mum, unsure, her face pale. Maya tried to smile, but it felt weak and broken. Jordan's lawyer stood, a younger man with slicked back hair and a confident tone. Your Honor, we'd like to submit these screenshots and photos into evidence. He handed a folder to the clerk, who passed it to the judge. These are text messages and photos from Maya's phone. They show erratic behavior, obsessive messages, and they're out of context, Maya finally said, barely above a whisper. The judge looked up. Excuse me? Maya sat up straighter, her voice trembling. Those messages, they're not what they seem. He twisted them. Jordan didn't even flinch. His lawyer jumped in quickly. We're also requesting a formal psychiatric evaluation for the child's safety. Maya's lawyer stood. Your Honor, these are not new accusations. My client has no mental health history that would warrant this request. But she did have postpartum depression, didn't she? Jordan said smoothly. And she never told me. Maya flinched. Her breath caught in her chest. That part was true, but she had gotten help. She had worked through it. It had nothing to do with now. The judge said nothing, just kept flipping through the papers. Maya leaned toward her lawyer and whispered, her voice breaking. They're all lies. He's lying. How can he do this? Tears slipped down her cheek, silent and hot. She wiped them quickly, hoping the judge hadn't seen, but she knew better. The damage had already started. Maya used to think Jordan was her safe place. They met when she was 25, working night shifts as a nurse in the ER. He was charming, confident, and always knew what to say. Their first dates were full of laughter, flowers, and long talks that stretched into the morning. He made her feel seen, like someone finally noticed her, really noticed her. At first, it felt like a fairy tale. He'd show up at her work with coffee. He'd hold her hand in public, brag to his friends about how smart and strong she was. They moved in together after a year. He said, "Why wait when you know it's right?" And she believed him. But slowly, things changed. It started small, little comments that made her doubt herself. You always forget things, don't you? Are you sure that's what happened? You get too emotional sometimes. He didn't yell. He never hit her. But his words left bruises in a place no one could see. When she cried, he told her she was overreacting. When she got upset about something he did, he said, "You're imagining things." He stopped inviting her to events with his friends, stopped letting her see hers, said it was because he wanted her to rest more, said she was always tired, always stressed. Then came the cheating. She found messages on his phone late one night when he fell asleep with it unlocked. When she confronted him, he denied it at first, then blamed her. "You've been distant for months," he said. "What did you expect?" She almost left then, but she was 6 months pregnant with Lila and scared. She told herself it would be different once the baby came. He promised it would. It wasn't. After Lila was born, Jordan hardly helped. He worked long hours, came home late, and stayed glued to his phone. Maya barely slept. She nursed Lila, changed every diaper, handled every cry. When she tried to talk to Jordan about needing help, he told her she was just being dramatic again. Postpartum depression hit her hard. She felt like she was underwater every day, heavy, numb, barely able to smile. But she still showed up. She still fed Lila, held her, kissed her forehead every night. Jordan never noticed. Or maybe he just didn't care. When Maya finally filed for divorce 2 years later, it was quiet. No yelling, no big fight, just a conversation in the kitchen. "I can't do this anymore," she said. He shrugged. "Fine." She thought it would be over. But the real battle started after she filed for full custody. Jordan didn't like losing, especially not to her. He acted like it was about Lila, said he just wanted to be a good father. But Maya knew better. He didn't want custody out of love. He wanted control. He wanted to punish her. He had the money, the smooth words, the polished image. His parents helped him hire a top lawyer. Maya, still working night shifts at the hospital, could barely afford hers. Every paycheck went to rent, groceries, and legal fees. No one in her family could help. Her mum had passed years ago. Her dad hadn't spoken to her since she left Jordan. He'd always liked Jordan more than he liked her. Maya felt alone, tired all the time, worn down from the constant lies Jordan told the court, the games he played. He showed up late to exchanges with Lila, then told the judge Maya was keeping his daughter from him. He sent her long, cruel emails, then printed out the parts where she snapped back and showed them in court. It felt like she was fighting a ghost. Something always one step ahead, something no one else could see, except Elena. Elena lived in the apartment next door, a quiet woman in her late 40s with soft eyes and a calm voice. She knocked on Maya's door one evening when she heard Maya crying through the wall. "I'm not trying to intrude," she said gently, "but if you ever need to talk, I'm here." At first, Maya just nodded, but over time they talked more, while taking out the trash, walking to their cars, or sitting outside in the evening after Lila went to bed. Elena started to notice things. She saw Jordan show up at strange times. She heard the way he spoke to Maya when he thought no one else was listening. "He's trying to break you down," she said one night. "But I see you. I see how hard you're trying." Those words stayed with Maya. On the nights she cried herself to sleep. On the mornings she didn't want to get up. On the days when the court system made her feel like she was the one doing something wrong. Maya wasn't perfect. She had her bad days, her quiet moments. But she was trying, for Lila, for herself, and she wasn't as alone as she thought. It happened on a Tuesday afternoon. Maya was in the kitchen, helping Lila with her afternoon snack, when there was a sharp knock at the door. She wasn't expecting anyone. She wiped her hands on a towel and opened it. Two people stood there, a man and a woman. Both held clipboards and wore serious expressions. "Ms. Reyes," the woman asked. "Yes? We're with Child Protective Services. We received a report about possible neglect and emotional instability in the home." Maya froze. "What? No, that's not true." The man stepped forward. "Ma'am, we're going to need to ask you some questions and take a quick look around." Lila stood behind her, holding a juice box and watching with wide eyes. Maya knelt down quickly. "Sweetheart, go to your room for a few minutes, okay?" Lila didn't move. "Why are they here?" "It's okay," Maya whispered. "Just go, baby. I'll be right there." Lila backed away slowly, scared and confused. Inside, Maya tried to stay calm, but her hands wouldn't stop shaking. Her voice cracked as she spoke. "Who made the report?" "We can't say," the woman said flatly. Anonymous tip, Maya already knew. It was Jordan. They walked through her apartment, opened cabinets, looked inside the fridge, peeked into Lila's room. Everything was clean and organized, but the man kept writing things down. The woman didn't smile once. "I don't understand," Maya said quietly. "I'm a nurse. I take care of people for a living. I would never hurt my daughter." "We're not accusing you of anything at this time," the man said. "This is just a routine check based on the call we received." But it didn't feel routine. It felt like someone was pointing a spotlight at all the worst parts of her life. Later that evening, Jordan called to check on Lila. Maya let her talk to him on speaker. She didn't trust him anymore. "Hi, Daddy," Lila said softly. "Hey, sweetie. Everything okay?" "Some people came to the house," Lila said. "Mommy said it's okay." There was a pause. "Sometimes Mommy gets sad, right?" Jordan said gently. "And angry." Maya's stomach twisted. She snatched the phone and hung up. She sat in silence for a long time. Lila curled up next to her, quiet and confused. Maya kissed her daughter's forehead and whispered, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." The next day at work, Maya felt the shift. Her supervisor pulled her aside. "Just a heads up," she said carefully. "Someone mentioned that you're being looked at by CPS. HR needs to follow up. It's probably nothing, but..." Maya nodded stiffly. "Of course." Her hands clenched the edge of the counter as she walked back to her station. She could feel eyes on her, quiet whispers when she passed. She had worked so hard to keep her life steady. Now it was starting to fall apart. That night, she sat with her lawyer in a tiny office across town. "He's trying to paint a picture," her lawyer said. Messy home, emotional outbursts, mental health issues. But it's all lies, Maya said. I've never hurt Lila. I've done everything for her. I believe you. But if he pushes for a psychiatric evaluation and the judge approves it, things could get more complicated. Maya rubbed her temples. I'm not crazy, I know, but you need to stay ahead of this. Stay calm. No outbursts. No texts that could be twisted. She nodded, but her mind was spinning. Jordan was winning, not by being honest, but by playing a role, calm, charming, concerned, and she, the tired single mother, working long hours, always on edge, looked exactly how he wanted her to look, broken. As she drove home, Maya glanced at the back seat through the mirror. Lila had fallen asleep, her thumb resting near her mouth. I'm not giving up, Maya whispered. I don't care what he says. I'm your mother. But deep down, the fear had taken root. She was losing control, and he knew exactly how to make her look like the problem. The letter from the court came on a Thursday. Maya opened it with trembling hands. A mandatory psychological evaluation. Jordan had pushed for it, and the judge agreed. Maya felt sick. She knew she wasn't unstable, but what if they twisted her word? What if she said the wrong thing? The evaluation took place in a small office with soft lighting and a polite woman who introduced herself as Dr. Abram. Maya sat on a couch, her hands folded tightly in her lap. She answered every question honestly about her childhood, her marriage, her postpartum depression, and how hard things had been since the divorce. I'm tired, she admitted, but I'm not dangerous. I love my daughter. She's the only reason I get out of bed most days. After an hour and a half, Dr. Abrams gave a small smile. You're going to be okay. A few days later, Maya's lawyer called. You passed, completely clean, no red flag. Maya exhaled for the first time in weeks, but the relief didn't last long. Jordan told everyone the evaluation was fake. She knows how to fool people, he said to the judge. She's always been good at hiding her moods. She manipulates everyone. Maya wanted to scream, but she stayed quiet. Every time she defended herself, they said she was being emotional. Lila started acting differently too, quieter. She avoided Maya's hugs. She barely talked during dinner. When Maya asked how school was, Lila would shrug or stare at her plate. One evening, Maya went to pick her up from Jordan's house. Lila didn't run to her like usual. She walked slowly, her eyes down. Later that night, as Maya tucked her into bed, Lila whispered, Daddy said you get mad when I talk about him. Maya froze. Sweetheart, that's not true. You can talk about anything with me. Daddy says you cry a lot, Lila added, and that it scares people. Maya felt a crack in her chest. Lila, sometimes adults feel sad, but I will never, ever hurt you. You hear me? Never. Lila didn't respond. She turned over and pulled the blanket over her head. The next morning, Maya's phone buzzed with a strange notification, a location alert. She didn't remember installing any tracking app. Confused, she checked her settings and found one running quietly in the background. Her heart dropped. Jordan had somehow installed it. He knew where she was at all times. She called her lawyer in a panic. This is illegal, right? Yes, her lawyer said, but we need proof it was him. Later that day, Elena knocked on Maya's door. She looked shaken. I saw someone outside last night, she said. A man, just standing by your car. He drove off when he saw me watching. Maya felt cold. What did he look like? Mid-30s, tall, glasses. I think I've seen him with Jordan once. They both knew what was happening. Jordan was watching her, tracking her, and now he had others doing it too. Then the messages started coming from Jordan's mother. You're tearing this family apart. Do the right thing. Give him custody or this will get worse. Maya blocked the number, but the words stayed in her mind, like poison. At her next meeting, her lawyer was calm but serious. We're running out of time. The next hearing is in 3 weeks. We need someone to speak for you, a character witness, someone who can stand up and say you're a good mother. Maya shook her head. No one will. He's turned everyone against me. My co-workers are scared to get involved. My own family won't even answer my calls. There has to be someone. Maya's voice cracked. Who would stand for me? She covered her face with her hands. The silence in the office was heavy. Her lawyer didn't push, just nodded and made a note. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, the room dark except for the soft glow of Lila's nightlight from the hallway. Sometime after midnight, she heard a small sound, a soft sniffle. She got up and followed the noise to the bathroom. The door was half open. Lila was sitting on the tile floor, her knees pulled to her chest, crying. Maya rushed in. "Lila, baby, what's wrong?" Lila didn't look up. "I don't want you to go away. I'm not going anywhere," Maya said, pulling her close. "Why would you think that? Daddy said maybe I'd live with him forever soon," Lila whispered. "He said it's because you don't love me anymore." Maya's heart shattered. "No," she said, her voice shaking. "That's not true. I love you more than anything in this world. You are my whole heart, Lila. Do you hear me?" Lila nodded slowly but didn't speak. Maya held her tighter, rocking her gently. She wanted to cry but didn't. Not this time. She needed Lila to feel safe, to feel love. Later, when Lila was finally asleep again, Maya sat alone on the couch, staring into nothing. He was getting into her daughter's head, turning her own child against her. She had been through so much, and now he was trying to erase her as a mother. But as she looked down, the courtroom was quiet, too quiet. Everyone was waiting for Jordan's lawyer to finish his statement. Jordan sat with his arms crossed, looking confident. Maya kept her eyes on the floor. Her hands were cold, even though the room felt warm. Then Jordan's lawyer said, "We have new evidence to present, Your Honor." The judge raised an eyebrow. "Proceed." Jordan's lawyer pulled out a folder. "These are therapy notes written by Ms. Carter after the birth of her daughter. They show signs of emotional instability. She admitted to feelings of anger, sadness, even thoughts of running away." Maya's heart dropped. Those notes were private. She had written them years ago during postpartum depression. She had trusted her therapist. How had Jordan gotten them? "They are taken out of context," Maya's lawyer said quickly. "There is no proof of current mental health issues. These are from years ago." But the damage was already done. Maya could see the judge's expression change. Doubt crept in. Maya stood up slowly. "Your Honor," she said, her voice soft. "May I speak?" The judge nodded. She took a deep breath. "Yes, I had postpartum depression. I struggled, like many new mothers do. But I got help. I never hurt my daughter. I've been stable for years. I show up every day for her. I work long shifts as a nurse. I pack her lunches. I read her bedtime stories. I'm not perfect, but I am her mother, and I love her more than anything." She looked directly at Jordan. This isn't about what's best for Lila. It's about punishing me. He's using my past pain as a weapon." The room stayed still for a moment. No one spoke. Then, suddenly, the back doors of the courtroom opened. Elena walked in, holding her phone in her hand. She looked nervous, but determined. "I have something," she said loudly. The judge looked confused. "Who are you?" "I'm Maya's neighbor. My name is Elena Lopez, and I have a recording that I believe this court needs to hear." Maya stared at her, shocked. Elena handed the phone to the court clerk. "It's from my security camera. Jordan was outside my apartment one night, talking to someone. He didn't know the mic picked up everything." The judge nodded. "Play it." The courtroom filled with the sound of Jordan's voice. It was clear, unmistakable. "She's going to break," his voice said on the recording. "If we push hard enough, she'll lose it. Then we've got her. I don't even need full custody, just enough to make her beg." A pause, then more. "The psych notes. I have a friend who got them for me. It's not legal, but whatever. It'll do the job." There was a loud gasp in the courtroom. Jordan's face went pale. He stood up quickly, trying to speak, but his lawyer pulled him back down. The judge's eyes were sharp now, angry. "Mr. Carter," the judge said slowly, "this is very serious. If this recording is verified, you may be facing charges of perjury, evidence tampering, and witness intimidation." Maya couldn't move. She was frozen. Eleanor had recorded him. She had proof, real proof, and she hadn't even told Maya. Tears welled in Maya's eyes. Not from fear, from relief. The judge turned to Maya. "We will pause proceedings for now. There will be a formal investigation. In the meantime, custody will remain with you." Maya felt her knees weaken. She sat down slowly, her hands over her mouth. She couldn't believe it. After everything, someone had believed her. Someone had stood up for her. Then she felt a tug at her arm. Lila had gotten up from the row of seats and run over. She wrapped her arms around Maya tightly. "I love you, Mommy," Lila whispered. Maya held her close, crying softly into her daughter's hair. For the first time in a long time, the tears were from something else. Not pain, not fear, but hope. Around them, the courtroom slowly emptied. But Maya and Lila stayed in that moment, together. The fight wasn't completely over, but something had changed. The truth, was finally out. The court case was over. Jordan was found guilty of lying to the court and trying to trick the system. The judge gave full custody of Lila back to Maya. Jordan was also ordered to stay away from both of them while an investigation continued. He looked shocked when the decision was read. His charm and lies couldn't save him anymore. Maya walked out of the courtroom holding Lila's hand. The sun felt warmer than before. For the first time in a long time, she could breathe. In the weeks that followed, Maya made some big changes. She left her old nursing job and found a new position at a smaller clinic. It paid less, but the hours were better and the people were kind. She finally had time for Lila and for herself. She and Lila moved into a quiet, cozy apartment across town. It wasn't fancy, but it felt safe. The walls were painted light blue. Lila picked out stickers for her bedroom door, stars and butterflies. Maya also started therapy again. This time, not because someone else told her to, but because she wanted to heal. Talking helped. Slowly, the weight she had carried began to lift. Lila began to change too. She started drawing again. Her pictures were no longer dark and sad. They were full of colors, rainbows, animals, and smiling stick figures. One day, Maya found a drawing of the two of them standing under a tree with hearts floating above their heads. She said, "I was her hero," Maya told her therapist one day, smiling through tears. "I don't feel like one. I just kept going." "You are one," the therapist said gently. "You didn't give up. That's what heroes do." Elena stayed in touch. The two women met for coffee or sat on the porch in the evenings, just talking. Elena had become more than a neighbor. She was a true friend. They laughed together now, not the kind of laughs that hide pain, but real ones that made Maya feel like herself again. One night, after putting Lila to bed, Maya sat alone on the small porch of their new home. The sky was full of stars. She held a warm mug of tea and listened to the quiet. Her phone buzzed, but she didn't check it. For the first time in years, there was no fear in her chest, no knot in her stomach. She thought about everything she had been through, the lies, the court, the fear of losing her daughter. She remembered how people doubted her, how Jordan made her feel small and broken, but she wasn't broken. She had survived. "I'm not broken," she whispered to the night. "I was just surviving." Inside, Lila stirred in her sleep, mumbling something soft and sweet. Maya smiled. There was still healing to do, but the worst was behind them, and ahead of them, peace. It was a quiet afternoon. Maya had just picked up Lila from school. They talked a little on the drive home, mostly about a drawing Lila had made in art class. It was a good day, simple, peaceful. When they got home, Lila ran to her room to change. Maya opened Lila's backpack to take out her lunchbox, and that's when she saw it, a small folded paper tucked between Lila's books. Maya opened it carefully. It was written in blue crayon. The handwriting was messy, but clear enough to read. "I love you, Mommy. You're my hero." Maya froze. Her eyes filled with tears. She read it again and again. Her hands trembled a little as she held the paper close to her heart. She walked outside to the porch, needing air, needing a moment. The sun was setting, painting the sky in soft pink and orange. Maya sat down in the old chair and looked at the letter again. She didn't try to stop the tears this time. So much had happened, so much pain, so many nights where she thought she wouldn't make it, times when she doubted herself, when she believed the lies Jordan told her, times when she felt truly alone. But here she was. Her daughter was safe. Their home was quiet. There was laughter again. There was hope. And now, this little note, simple, honest, full of love. It was more than just a few words on paper. It was everything Maya had fought for. It was proof that even though she had felt broken, she had never stopped being a mother, never stopped loving, never stopped trying. She looked up at the sky, wiped her tears, and held the letter close. "He tried to break me," she whispered, voice steady now. "But I remembered who I was." Hey loves, thanks a ton for sticking around till the end. If you felt something, don't forget to like, drop a comment, share with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one. Bye for now.